Well, it's really unclear as to what exactly happened. What eyewitnesses said was that the building came down very suddenly. There was no warning. It was difficult for anybody to escape. The whole thing was very, very sudden.
And do you have any update on the number of victims and how many might still be trapped inside?
Well, the National Emergency Agency issued a statement this evening. It was issued just about the time I left, and they said 37 people were rescued alive, and then 8 were dead. As the time I left, 2 more people were pulled out. One was dead, the other was alive. So I don't know whether these 2 figures were added to it or whether these are fresh, were not added to that. Otherwise, we shall be talking of almost 47 people pulled out so far. But then, even as at the time I was leaving, there were indications that there were people still trapped. Rescue workers had made contacts with some people still under the rubble. So definitely there are still a number of people still trapped under the rubble.
So tell us more about what the building was used for. We know that there was a school inside, but what about the other floors?
It was like a multi-purpose building. You had a school, you had residential apartments, and you also have a number of shops, which is not peculiar to this particular building. I mean, all the buildings there were used for several purposes, and this has to do with the fact that there's so much pressure for land in this place, and every available space is very strongly utilized. And apparently, there are no regulations there as to what buildings could be used for. The buildings there are in very bad state. Even while I was there, I was a bit scared that some of these buildings can still collapse as work was going on. So it's quite a terrible place to go, and it's quite sad that this happened.
So you were there for most of Wednesday. From what you saw, how are rescue services trying to get to those they believe are still buried under the rubble?
It's a very difficult and slow process. More of people using their hands, carrying things with their hands. There's just one heavy machine, which was not able to do much. In a situation where people are trapped, you expect to have more of heavy machines carrying all these blocks up, but most of the work is being done by hand. And of course, because it's a very highly populated area, you have so many people who have no business being there hampering rescue efforts. So it's of course, you have relatives also who are anxious about their relatives that have not been accounted for.